Hello out there, my true believers. Taylor here, your casual crypt keeper. And we always keep our eyes open on the stars, trying to uncover what secrets NASA's hiding out there. And we got a bunch of good stuff today. Dying stars, some bones on Mars, and a chip in some very important hardware. Let's dive on in and take a look at the top 5 terrifying pictures NASA is hiding from you. Let me know down below in the comments if you're enjoying this kind of thing, or if there's something else specific you want to see us check out on Top 5 Scary. Number 5, bones on Mars. We are just desperate to find some proof of there being life on Mars. More than anything, we just want to know if there's anybody else out there with us. We want to know if there's aliens coming in from other galaxies, but I think more importantly, we want to look in our own solar system first. It'd be an awfully lonely galaxy otherwise. And while we haven't had a manned mission yet to Mars, thanks to telescopes and rovers, we've been able to get a pretty good look at the surface of it to better our understanding. Recently, a photo taken from the Curiosity rover reignited the search, and alien enthusiasts were excited when it looked like a photo of a human bone was taken from the surface of Mars. It shows a collection of rocks, half buried in dust, and one in particular immediately jumps out, looking like a femur bone, even possibly a human femur bone. However, excitement dwindled pretty soon when, like most cases, like the face on Mars and that statue that looked like it might have been a human woman on Mars, it turned out to be little more than a coincidence. The bone? Well, it turns out it's not much more than a rock that just happens to look like a bone, and our eyes and desire to see patterns where there aren't patterns can trick us all. It was shaped through erosion caused by the wind. Now, NASA is more than aware how much we're all jumping at the bit for proof of aliens, so they even issued a statement about this picture. If life ever existed on Mars, scientists expect that it would be small, simple forms called microbes. Mars likely never had enough oxygen in its atmosphere to support more complex organisms. Thus, large fossils are not likely. Now, it does bear mentioning too that the rock bone actually doesn't look, exactly like a human femur when you really look at it, but hey, that's probably why we thought it was an alien after all. And if you're looking for more scary stuff from outer space, aliens, cryptids, SCPs, and way more, basically everything scary under the sun, toss a subscribe our way and stay spooked all night long. Number 2, cracking the glass. It must be so odd being in space, floating around in all that nothingness. Even weirder on a space station. You're out in the vast, unending cosmos, and you know that the only thing that's keeping you alive is being inside this box, and that the environment around you cannot support you at all. And you are lost in a sea of stars, very far away from home. I'm not sure how you could ever get used to calling that home. I've got nothing but respect for the astronauts on the ISS. That stuff would stress me out so much I don't think I'd ever get a good night's sleep. I would be way too worried at all times that all it would take is one little thing to go wrong and it would all be over. Well, the ESA, that's the European Space Agency, tweeted a photo out a little bit ago of a crack in the window of the ISS, which is a nail-chomping sight. The damage was caused by a floating piece of debris that collided into the observatory of the ISS. The chip that did this damage was only about 1/4 of an inch. And while it looks incredibly unnerving, and if I saw it while I was serving in the space station, I would probably sweat bullets, the ESA reassures everyone that the damage doesn't actually pose a threat. Now, the unnerving part to me is that they speculate that the object that damaged the window could have been something as small as a flake of paint that came off the ISS and collided with the window. A flake of paint did that! If your first thought was, well, what about something ever so slightly larger, the ESA has the same worry, and has said that a piece of debris larger than 4 inches would be enough to completely shatter a satellite or a spacecraft wide open. That would probably prevent me from ever getting a good night's sleep, knowing that there's always a possibility something tiny could tear a hole open and have everyone sucked into space. Sweet dreams! The threat of space debris is a growing concern for NASA and the ESA and other space organizations, as debris keeps getting lost up there and isn't getting taken away. Nobody's taking out the cosmic trash. We've already messed Earth up pretty bad. It would be a galactic embarrassment if we trash up the stars. So next time they send some astronauts up there, bring a dirt devil or something. Maybe vacuum something up. Do your part. Number 3, dying star. When you're looking at a star, you're actually looking at a star as it was about 4,000 years ago. It's kind of out of date by the time you saw it. The speed of light, very fast, but it's not that fast. You see, stars live for hundreds upon millions of years, so when we're looking at them, they're practically an infant in the cosmic sense. But have you ever wondered what it might look like when a star does die? When a star finally croaks and kicks that celestial bucket? Well, Thanks to billions of dollars in telescope technology, we can scratch that curiosity. Before the James Webb Telescope stomped onto the scene and stole the hearts and mind of the space community, the Hubble telescope was still the #1 name to trust in the big telescope community and was capturing all sorts of dazzling and delightful images, including this lovely one of the star CW Leonis, captured as it was dying. Oh, and nobody did anything to help. You just watched it. Oh, these people. Have you ever seen a dying star? I definitely haven't, and it is as ethereally beautiful as I could have imagined, but also like wildly scary in a sort of cosmic horror way, you know? And that sort of we're so small in the galaxy kind of way. It looks like a cosmic web, kind of like a fractal galactic spider web, and that's a great album name if you want to give that out there. It looks to me like staring into the eye of a Lovecraftian god, some being that's existed before the dawn of time. Makes me feel like I'm gonna get driven to just a little bit of madness if I stare at it too long. So I'm not a rocket scientist, or a scientist, or really even that smart about anything, but I could do my best to try and explain what's going on here. The cobwebs that you can see floating around the star are carbon absorbing the dying star, and the outer layers of the star are being sucked into the black void of space. And where that goes from there, could not tell you, but it's probably just as terrifying to even consider. Anyway, can't tell you too much more. Like I said, I'm no scientist, I'm just a reasonably charismatic YouTube host who can tell you when something looks cool. And this star looks pretty cool. Jack-o'-lantern sun. Hey, it's not just people who can dress up for Halloween. We've all seen dogs in hilarious Halloween costumes, and now even the stars want to get in on the celebrations. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured a fascinatingly spooky looking image of our beloved celestial body, the sun, on October 8th of 2022, taking a photo of the sun seemingly wearing a Halloween costume of a jack-o'-lantern for the season. Just beautiful, really. Now, again, I'll do my best to explain what's happening here, but I'll be completely candid. I'm just writing down some words that I read on a NASA website, and I'm not 100% that I actually know what any of these mean, but I'll say them anyway for you. The active regions are areas of greater light and energy that appear in SDO images to flame outwards from the sun. This image has been edited slightly to highlight the ultraviolet active regions, since our regular eyes can't see ultraviolet light that easy. Does this mean this is what the sun has been looking like this entire time, and I just don't have the insight to know about the face on the sun? NASA shared this particularly festive image with the title Pumpkin Sun, and I think it's pretty easy to see where they're coming from in this one. This one straight up looks like just a giant cosmic jack-o'-lantern. The lights form two eyes, it's got a little nose and a wide, jagged, smiling mouth. Kinda makes it seem like there was a giant cosmic pumpkin carving contest out there in the skies. I kinda wish we could get this permanent for like the months of October. Would love to look up in the sky and I see a giant face staring back at me like I live in Clocktown from Majora's Mask. Yeah, this isn't the scariest point on this list, I can admit that, but it's a darn good photo and I think that's worth showcasing enough, is it not? And I mean, really, imagine looking up into the sky and seeing that looking back at you. I feel like you would assume it was the end of days and it was gonna start raining fire down upon the heavens. And number 1, that's no moon. Now what you're looking at right now is a picture of Saturn's moon Mimas. And I know what you're thinking. That's no moon, that's a space station. As the moon Mimas is a dead ringer for the fully operational mobile star crusher, the Death Star. An asteroid crater left in the side of the giant rock has left it permanently looking like the infamous Imperial Space Station. Now, while something looking like the Death Star is more than interesting enough to me, what's truly interesting here is that astronomers believe they might have found proof that this Death Star, ironically, might be hiding a bit of life beneath its surface, hiding an ocean just under the satellite's crust. Recently, researchers studying Mimas have discovered that there is a strange wobble effect in the moon's rotation, and research data has shown and suggested that the wobble is caused by the sloshing of liquid ocean just beneath the icy surface of the 246-mile diameter moon, big moon. Now, if this is true, this would be huge shakes. Water on any other planet is very exciting since, you know, not to speculate too wildly, it could be proof of life on another planet. Even small and microbial would still be an earth-shattering revelation since it would count as alien life. Since this discovery, scientists are starting to look at Mimas differently, since if this was true, it could mean this hunk of rock is a whole new type of world altogether. The possibility that it can sustain life and that our solar system might be a little more occupied than we'd previously thought, well, that would change everything. That's all we've been looking for in any of these videos, proof of alien life somewhere. Now, as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like Mimas has a giant laser capable of destroying a planet, so it's a fair bit nicer than the real Death Star, and hopefully they didn't make the same engineering mistakes and there's no structural ports or, oh, what was it called? No, I'm embarrassing myself as a Star Wars fan. What he shot the torpedo into. We all know what I'm talking about. When Luke shot the torpedo in. It doesn't have that. That's what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, hopefully there is something hiding beneath that ice. I feel like that'd be a pretty good cosmic twist if we spent all this time thinking Mars is gonna be where we found the aliens, and then it turns out it's the Death Star, the thing from Star Wars where we find our alien friends. That's poetry. And that's all for this video, my ghouls and goblins. Thanks so much. Creep on creeping on, and I'll see you in the next one.